Hey everyone, hey everyone, hey everyone. Hope you're doing well. Anthony Fantano here, you know who it is. Reacting to an article over here and talking about one of my favorite places on the internet, Spotify. No, I really don't have anything against Spotify. But we have some excellent reporting over here in a lengthy article on vulture.com, which is going to be linked down there in the description. And they basically talk about how over the years, so many artists have kind of geniusly, and also, tech giants and people in the music industry have figured out these smart, interesting little ways of kind of gaming the system and making money, getting attention on the Spotify platform. Something in the past I have talked a little bit about before, back when I think some of these ideas and some of the oddities that we're about to talk about here were kind of in their infancy. There's one point in the article where they talk about a friend of the show, Matt Farley, writing songs about everything, this portion of the article over here. Matt Farley, if you didn't know, is this songwriter on Spotify. I think around the time that I talked with him, he had easily over like maybe 50,000 songs on Spotify. And he literally writes songs about everything, politics, poop. How I kind of came across him was a friend of mine said that he wrote 90 songs about my home state. And he's literally just like writing song about town after town after town using what seems like just whatever cursory information he was able to grab off of Wikipedia about whatever town he's singing about. And he's singing the zip codes, and he's singing like the sea level and stuff like that. So it's really ridiculous stuff that Matt Farley does on Spotify. And another fun thing and weird thing that he does on Spotify, where you might run across his work, is that Matt will write a song titled like Billie Jean or something, or a song about like Sugar Man, a song sort of referencing, at least in title, the Sugar Man, the documentary, Waiting for Sugar Man. And of course, once you actually click on the song, it's not a Billie Jean cover. It's not about Michael Jackson. It's none of that. It's just some kind of weird improvised piano song where Billie Jean is just like the title and sort of the figure of the song. So, Matt has made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars doing this. Not enough to sort of, live in the lap of luxury, but certainly at some point he was making like, a pretty decent living off of it. Has dozens of students write more than 18 to write more than, okay. It actually says that he has far less songs on here than I actually anticipated. I thought he had over 50,000 songs on Spotify. It says 18,000. I mean, that's most likely right. I imagine that the reporter here did Adam K. Raymond, shout out to Adam, did the reporting he needed to for this article, but I thought it was much more. And I know he adds like tons and tons and tons of music to his discography on Spotify like every month. Although maybe that has slowed down recently, I could be wrong, but still, he has lots of different pseudonyms, lots of different albums, lots of different song topics on Spotify. And the thing is, at this point, Matt isn't the only person figuring out ways to game the system. There are tons of other artists who are figuring out ways to game the system. There are happy birthday songs. There are other artists who are doing like really terrible covers of popular tracks and top 40 tracks. They're not simply doing what Matt Farley is doing and kind of clickbaiting listeners with a title. They're just trying to clickbait people with a really bad cover of a song. I actually spent quite a bit of time last night listening to how hilariously bad some of these covers are. And you have to imagine that the people making them know that they're bad. Like, they're truly awful. Like, they're really subpar. They're really crappy. They don't really bring anything to the table in terms of a different or a fun or an interesting sound. They're not like reinventing the song or anything. It's just like a crappily produced, version of the track, either just like slapped together into a pirated digital audio workstation or like some kind of crappy MIDI instrumental or something. And then they're just kind of singing or rapping over that. Like, that's literally what a lot of these sort of cover song gimmick people are doing on Spotify. But the most interesting thing that this article brings up comes toward the very end of the article, where it's not just artists and people who are outside of the Spotify platform who are gaming the system on Spotify. It seems like potentially, this is not confirmed, but the article, sort of pulls some interesting facts out that really do make you wonder, is Spotify gaming their own system by potentially putting artists who are not real or are fake artists into the platform. Now, how exactly are they doing this, and how are they getting people to listen to these artists? How this article suggests and how this article puts forward that this is happening is that artists are being slipped into the very popular playlists that you may see when you hit the front page or the playlist section on Spotify, which, according to this article, I have no reason to believe that this is not true, that half of the users at any given moment are just listening to music on these playlists. Totally understandable, totally figures. I get messages and emails and contact all the time telling me, hey, you got to check out this new artist, you got to check out that new artist, again, in a PR email or something. They just got this many plays on Spotify. They got added to the Spotify playlist. It's blowing up. It's so huge right now. It's gigantic. You got to listen to this band. They're the next new big thing. And, sometimes I'll give that or I won't give that a shot based on, that sort of intel. Originally it would kind of grab my attention, but now it just kind of seems like it's becoming like a bit of a non-mechanism for artist promotion in a way. So anyway, having said that, Vulture has brought up here that there are artists who are in these playlists, not the playlists obviously where it's like rap caviar and it's kind of the newest, latest, most viral, popular rap songs, and basically every artist who you're going to hear in that playlist is an artist that you're already aware of, you already know of. No, we're talking more about playlists where it's ambient music, chill music, instrumental music, which you would think that there's almost no shortage of today. You go on Bandcamp, there's tons of ambient music on Bandcamp. The vaporwave community is huge on ambient music. There's a lot of ambient and experimental and spacey and instrumental music out there on the internet. Not that Spotify needs to be going out and looking for ambient artists on Bandcamp to drag them over to the Spotify platform. But, if you are an ambient artist, I think it is worth considering getting your material on Spotify for the potential that you could end up in one of these playlists. However, if you end up on one of these playlists, you may find your track shoulder to shoulder with an artist that is potentially not even real. Shout out, before I get into this, I do want to say, again, shout out to Matt Farley. Check out his website, moturnmedia.com, if you want to listen to Matt's music and find out all about all of his different projects and basically hear about, whatever he's sort of involved with musically or artistically, because I believe he does film and other stuff too. Moturnmedia.com. That's linked down there in the description. But anyway, on Spotify, here is one of a few artists that the Vulture article are alleging is totally fake. This artist named Deep Watch. Now, they only have 2 songs on Spotify, Moments and Endless Fragments of Time. And these songs have tons and tons of plays, tons and tons of traction. But all of that traction is essentially just coming from inclusion in these ambient playlists. And these songs are 3:35, 3:36. It's not like this artist put these 2 tracks together and was like, okay, here's my long ambient album with like 2 20-minute long tracks. It's not like that at all. Again, these are like 2 tracks that together number up to like 7 minutes of material. And if you actually look up Deep Watch, you look up these song titles, you look up this little piece of cover art over here, Endless Fragments of Time with this girl holding a little lantern over here. If you look this up outside of Spotify on Google, you basically get nothing. It's just dead. Like there's no information, there's no nothing. And it says over here that let's see, it's assigned to 2017 DW Prod. That's like the label or sort of 2017 DW Prod production. I assume that's DW Production Home Facebook. I have a feeling that this has nothing to do with Deep Watch. This has nothing to do with DW Deep Watch Production. This is like the first thing that came up when I looked up DW Production, and this looks like some kind of obscure dwproduction.event. Yes, this has nothing to do. Your dream is our job. Okay, this has nothing to do with the whole Deep Watch thing. Yes, so it's like this artist, quote unquote, only exists in this vacuum. And again, this is not the only instance of this on the Spotify platform. So is Spotify gaming their own system by including artists that aren't real into these ambient playlists, into these playlists where they can essentially get away with putting these artists in? I'm sure some of you are sitting here wondering, well, why the hell would they do that? Well, the thing is, like, you have to cut an actual, residual amount of money to an artist that could potentially be getting millions of plays on a song via a playlist. Once you kind of have racked up all those plays, if an artist is fake, or if they commission a song from an artist who's not real and throw it into a playlist, that's one more check. That's one more little bit of money that they don't have to spend anything on. And if you actually listen to these tracks, I mean, it's kind of like Muzak. It's like really generic, droney piano stuff. There's nothing really all that special about it. Like, it easily could have been slapped together by anybody who's just looking to get a quick buck. But check out Deep Watch. Check out, this Vulture article over here, because it is really interesting. I personally do and have in the past defended the Spotify platform because, they're not perfect, but I do think they have done a lot of good things for streaming. They have sort of pioneered in the industry in a lot of ways that I think have been mostly positive for the consumer, for the listener. However, I do think that care and the word I'm looking for is concern for the artist has kind of been thrown to the wayside by Spotify a little bit, and this is yet another example of that. Unfortunately, with Spotify's current practices and, what kind of songs and what kind of music and what kind of artists they allow onto the platform, not to say that Spotify should be tighter with what they allow on the platform. I do kind of like the fact that your average person, if they do get some representation or they do go through a certain interface or a service, they can get their independently released album on Spotify without much in the way of a headache. But the thing is, like, if this sort of stuff continues, Spotify is going to slowly become like a bit of a wasteland. It's I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Over here next to my head is a video on my main channel, The Needle Drop, where I talk a bit about Spotify and streaming services. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Again, check out this article, check out Moturn Media, and give a listen to that Deep Watch when you get an opportunity to. And honestly, if Deep Watch is a real artist, hit me up on Twitter and let me know what's up. Let me know what's up, and maybe I can sort of do a turnaround on this. And honestly, like, the Vulture article isn't sort of asserting that Deep Watch is 100% known and understood to be a fake artist. It's basically we're looking for answers here, because it just kind of seems odd that this anomaly would be here. With the way Spotify runs, it's not surprising that there are anomalies, weird musical anomalies on the platform. But the thing is, this just kind of seems a little weird and kind of questionable. And I will leave it at that. I'll see you guys in the next video. You're the best.